Yes. That looks positive. Alrighty then. It is a Wednesday night. I'm ScreamingWyvern, and it's been one of those days where a week and a half before you were going on vacation, you tried to look for newspaper records of your estranged father's first marriage that you didn't even hear about until you were 35. You try and make sure that he was, in fact, legally divorced before he married your mother, because he's in the hospital after a nasty fall, and proving that he's where your anger issues originated when he asks questions, when he is asked questions, I mean, and your mother isn't offering useful information either because she's trying to use your dad's deteriorating health as an opportunity to finally get some therapy from the absolute wrong people, which means your sister is having to track down information, and sure enough, when you try to look for that information, you discover that someone with your exact name died 2 years ago. Anyway, Dungeon Map Maker by Doopy Games. So, 2 weeks ago, I was at my kitchen table, and I went through the process of building a beautiful map using Doopy Games' game Dungeon Map Maker, which is a map maker game where you make dungeons. But slightly more important than that is that it's a two-part game. In part one, you map make. In part two, you map explore. And tonight, I will be going ahead and doing exactly that. And 14 rooms, something like 12, 16, I can't remember. A bunch of monsters. Yeah, just a whole lot of monsters. And I'm a kill them. It seems like a good way to spend the evening. It seems like the best way to spend an evening. So let me go ahead and bring the map up. And there we have it. So yes, this is the map that I created last week. Down here, for my reference, are the cards that I used to make them, because each area invited a different monster into the dungeon. So this one here, the sacrificial pit, weirdly enough, is attracted a crab. This oh no. That's the main quest. That's where we got Blackjack from. It was this one right here that invited the crab. Over here, which room is that? I think that's this one right here. Is where the bandit came from. We have this lovely little furnace over here, which is what attracted a hound. And we have the mother lode, this big room here that's filled with all these little icons and kadoobies. And that is what attracted the ogre. And of course, we finally have the big boss monster himself, who is this skeleton guy called Blackjack. Blackjack is actually here in room 11. The room numbers are completely arbitrary. They're just there because I need to track where I've gone. But the first question I have to ask is, who am I? Which, if you heard my rant at the beginning, you understand is a very difficult question. Over here, I've got a series of character classes. All of them are melee in one way, but all of them have one special ability. I'm going to go ahead, flip that over, shuffle it, and when I flip the deck back over, what I see there is who I'm a be. I am the warrior. So I'm going to go ahead and place that card over here. And then let me see if I can lock it in place. There we go. Okay, the rest of these cards can go up here, up here. There we go. Okay. After completing the map, I'll go ahead and go back up to the cards here. So, okay, I have 12 monsters. It's official. I get to take 12 actions because there are 12 monsters. For the quest, when I was making the map, I got 1 time per monster. Then I got 7 gold for each numbered space. Let's see if I can zoom this in. I mean, it was already pretty hard to see. Okay, you can just barely make it out here. In the original graphic, there are 5x5 regions, each of which have their own number, and this one was number 3. So if I put an icon right over where that number would be, then I got a gold for it. For the I want to say main game, but I don't really feel like that's necessarily the main game. Put that there. So then I got a lot more for each room containing 3 or more different icon types. This one room right here had monsters and treasures and oh my. This one has a barrel of fire and other stuff and so on and so forth. So, what was 5? And if I had a bunch of loot in one room, which ended up being 3 right here, I got a certain amount of gold. So I ended up with 43 gold. Now, I have zoomed too far and too deep. Okay, I am going to be able to shop here at Tor's Tavern. Go ahead and put that right back there. Okay, not going to need any of that anymore. So I don't actually need any of these cards. I'm going to go ahead and throw them out as well. And this time I'll do it the more logical way. Okay. Let's see what we've got over here. So the warrior has 12 health. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a couple more boxes. And then I'm going to go ahead and move my tiny me so that he can track health for me. My movement, my max movement is going to be 3. Yeah, that's as small as I get to. That's not too bad. I can block 1. I can zoom out abruptly for no reason. Okay, 3, 1. And I can do up to 3 points of damage with a single attack. Okay, did I screw anything else up? Don't think so. Okay, what else did we get? I got the special ability Ground Punch. Now, having a special ability is not yet the most exciting thing in the world. Make that just a lot more. Okay, I have no idea how to move that over. So let's add a few more. Okay, that seems to be as good as it gets. But that's fine. So I have the ability Ground Punch, which is on the wrong place anyway. Go away. Okay, fine. Fine. Ground. One, two, two. There we go. And I also have the ability Daze. And I think that's just a thing that happens. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab the book. Scroll up a little bit. Nope. I've gone too far. All right, in the exploration phase, you will go adventuring through the dungeon map you created in the mapping phase, or a previously created dungeon. For the record, along with this book, you can get a second book, which includes some lovely pre-made maps, which can be used for this game, can be used for your own games, whatever you like. And I have mentioned Ways Unseen here a few times. They are responsible for some of the maps because they are amazing. During setup, you will create a character. We've kind of already done that, and purchase any goods from the shop using the gold you earn. But let's go ahead and make sure we know what all of this means. So choose one of the 6 occupation cards, place the card in the space, blah, blah, blah. Record your character's starting max health. record your character's max move, max block, max attack. Now, choose one of the two possible starting weapons listed on your character card. So, it kind of says it right over here too. But my character has the option of using a hammer or a flail. The hammer, if I use the hammer, then it will hit anything that's in this square, and this square in front of me. If I use the flail, it'll hit just what's in this space right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set it up with the hammer. I also need to decide which slot I'm going to be using. Because basically, I'm going to roll a 6-sided die, and I'm going to assign it to skills. I'm going to assign it to weapons under some slightly complicated situations. I can assign it to the ground punch that I've so beautifully written there. I also realize that I need to go a zip and a zip before I forget. Okay, that's 12. So, the hammer is saying that it has a value of 3. So let's go ahead and skip really quickly. You choose to put it in any slot. Okay. So oh, I see. Okay. So the weapon is different from this attack value here. Perfect. Okie dokie. So since it has a value of 3, I'm going to go ahead and put it in slot 3 because why not? So this is and it can do doop, 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 and start. I think that's close as I'm going to get. Okay, so I have chosen my occupation. I've noted my abilities. I've chosen my weapon. I have my essence selected. Essence in this is going to be basically hit points. No, not hit points. Hit points are going to be basically hit points. Essence is going to be more experience points. And of course, the name as per tradition is Wyvern. Because if I had my proper camera, which has been replaced, you'd be able to see that hanging back there. Okay. So, first thing we do is we visit the shop, which I placed somewhere totally logical. Okay. You should probably note that this is a melee weapon. So I can get something called the Shocker. The Shocker is kind of like the hammer I already have, which is to say it's exactly like the hammer I already had, and I kind of did weird things with. Look, I'm discussing something called the Shocker. I'm already uncomfortable enough. Please stop making jokes at my expense. I will make my own jokes at my expense. Thank you. Where is... Oh, it's on the Abu web page. Monster attack effect. So the Shocker also has the stun ability, which means that they cannot move on their turn if they take any damage from that. So I'm going to start off I have 43 gold. If I picked up the Shocker, that would be almost all of it. So whatever I thought I was about to say, I am no longer going to be saying. I am going to be picking up a key because none of those places that we were that have the chests, I can't open those chests without having a key. So that leaves me with 28. I could get an amber ale, which would allow me to do double damage. Which seems good, but is it really worth that? Let me go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And get a fermented sausage, as they're calling it, which is essentially a healing potion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, yeah. So I'm getting another key and another healing potion. And I guess I'll just hope that I find something interesting on my travels. So, back to the rules. Okay, so visited the shop. So 3 items, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think there's much here that we haven't discussed. Of course, I have the time tracker. Yeah. Okay, so you stand out at the entrance of the dungeon and stare inside. You take a long, deep breath and slowly expel it into the depths. You are here. The dungeon knows it now. There's no turning back. I'm not going to be shopping anytime soon. So, we have the quest. Defeat all non-boss monsters. Defeating the boss is optional. Each time you enter a room for the first time, check for monsters, check the nest, then you can fight, and then you can search and loot, and you have to record time. And even if you re-enter a room, then you have to record the time. So, if there's any monsters in the room, roll the d20 to determine which monster appears on each monster icon space. And what I've got here is a series of tokens, as well as their supporting life tracker, which I have decided to put on the end of their lives, which I'm sure makes perfect sense. They're going to start off dead, and when I create them, yeah. So this guy right here, technically, is an elite monster, which for our purposes means he's an ogre. These guys could hypothetically also be ogres, but not in this particular room, because you can only have as many creatures in a room as you can keep track of the life of. Nest items spawn 1 pest at the start of each combat, and at the end of each combat round until the nest is destroyed. So that means that it's going to be throwing crabs at me as long as it can. Place 2 cubes for each monster. We've already done that. Place your character cube in front of the door we entered from. I think there's enough here to just go ahead and have a go at it and see what happens. So, in the first room, I have to see what this monster here and this monster here is. It is number 11 for the first monster. Let's go ahead and say that's this one right here. And as promised, and for the second monster, 15, that's our hound right here. Okay, so I have a hammer, which allows me to hit anything that's in these squares. I also have an attack, which means that I can do that instead of using my weapon. My max attack is, my weapon attack is 3. My max attack is 3. Okay, it's not directly, it's not anywhere direct. It has to be right adjacent to me. Not on a diagonal, that is. Okay. Grab my dice, bring them over to this side of the table right here. So, at each combat phase, I will be rolling the 20-sided die and the 2 6-sided die. By default, each of the 6-sided dice are individual, which means that if this was a 1 and this was a 2, it wouldn't count as 3. It would count as a 1 and a 2. Okay. So, I have rolled a 3. Now, for the bandit, a 3 means that he is going to block. For the hound, a 3 means that he is going to run away. So that's nice. Big, scary, wrinkly dog, and all he wants to do is get out of here. Sorry, long pause while I ponder what I'm seeing. All right, so my character's turn is first. I can assign 2d6 to perform skills. The first thing I'm going to want to do is move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 5. Make sure that the camera is all visible. And I'm going to go ahead and assign the 5 to the move skill. I'm going to take the 3 and I'm going to assign the 3 to the hammer skill. And then I can move up to my maximum movement, which is 3. 1. Actually, I can do it right here. And then I do the weapon damage to the hound, which is 1, 2, 3. Leaving the hound. Oh, that's funny. 1, 2, 3. Not 1, 2, 3. We didn't start at 6. We started at 8. But that's okay. So now we go up. So elite, beast, minion, and pest. So the hound goes first. The hound is going to move. Let's see how far it does that. It's very confident about my skills, so we're all good there. Okay. Running away. If a monster's action is to run away, they do not move towards your character. In fact, they try to get as far away from your character as possible without leaving the room. Move the monster's cube according to their move value. And the hound's move, which is printed right here, is 4. Can he get out? He can. So, doggy go bye-bye. Brings us to the bandit. Now, a water hex, water square, whatever. Is not a hazard. Oh, there we go. Your characters or monsters cannot attack from water space. It takes 1 move to move onto, but 2 to move off of. So, 1, 2, 3. So that part is done, which I believe just means we move to a second one. And you'll notice that it's up down, which is why I didn't try and do anything sideways. There's no nest in here. Oh. Okay, let me go ahead and bring the doggy back. Burf. Okay, so he is trying to move as far away as possible from my character, which actually means one, two, three. I feel like it's actually going to be... Yeah, that feels right. There is nothing here which implies that a monster can't share a space, so I'm going to go ahead and put him back there. Okie dokie. We can close that for now. Go ahead and grab... Actually, let's go ahead and put the dice over here, so I'm not moving quite as far. Okay. So for me, it's a 2 and a 4. I am not going to be able to use my hamster this time. I do not... I need 1, 2, 3. I need... I'm going to go ahead and assign the 4 to the movement and the 2 to the attack. Now, the creatures... 15 is the number. The hound is going to try and attack me for 4 this time. The bandit is going to try and attack me for 4 this time. So, not very creative, but okay. The important thing is that they're not going to be avoiding me. So, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to make him do his little attack. That was very cute. I liked it. And then the bandit takes 2 points of damage. Okay. The bandit attacks me, which does 4 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like that makes sense. Stop playing with the game board! So the hound cannot currently reach me. So it can go 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be the most logical because it can't attack from the water square anyways. Yeah. That seems to be the end of the turn. So let's go ahead and replace the dices. That is a 2. So I have a 6 here and a 1 here. Neither of those are necessarily very exciting for anything. I could technically use one of my sixers to add or subtract one from a die roll, but I need three, so that's not happening. So I think I'm going to block and attack. So I will be taking one less damage from attacks. I'm going to do 3 points of damage to you. And that is going to take you off the board. And that is also going to give me 2 essence. So with a 2, the dog is back in flee mode. 1, 2, 3. And he can't get out of there. Good enough, I guess. All right. A 1, a 2, and a 12. This is almost painfully. So the dog is going to do extra damage. If you can see up here, a 12 means that it does 6 points of damage. One, two, three, 4. But it has to be able to reach me first. So the question is, how does this even slightly help? And I don't think it does. I think my best plan is just to go ahead and block. Can only block the 1 point of damage. I guess I'll throw the 2 onto the attack, even though I'm not actually going to do that. So the hound wants to do damage to me. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll see if next time it gets another bath. Most dogs try to avoid bathing. Okay, 15. 15 is 4 points of damage. I have a 6 and I have a 3. I can... But I should go ahead and use the hammer with the 3. Which I guess leaves this for move. So I go ahead and I take the 1 step forward. I can do damage to any of these 3 squares. So 1, 2, 3 points of damage. The doggo is okay still, which is a shame, because the doggo is now going to move and he's going to hit me for 4. 1, 2, 3. You did it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. I can see the direction in which numbers go. That should not be the most challenging part. Okay, rolly. I've got 2 3s there. What is the dog got? The dog has a 6. That's the super damage for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of my 3s on the hammer and the other one on the block. Technically, knowing what I know, I don't need to do that because I go first. The doggo is the dead zone. And the reward for that is 3. Like I said, 3 experience points, 3 essence, which means now I can use ground punch. So how I would use ground punch is I would roll 2 6s and I would assign both of them to the ground punch ability, which would make all the monsters in the room lose all sorts of health. And that means that this room is now empty. Okay. Now that the room is empty, I am able to search it. Searching requires me to look at the quest card. So I roll the 2d6. I roll both d6s and the d20. And this time I'm going to add up the total. I can try up to 3 times to find a thing. I just realized I am going to go ahead and cross out the monsters because they're not coming back. Feel like I might as well go ahead and have a special set of dice just for treasure search. So my first total is 19. 19 does not match any of these items. My second attempt is 27. 27 is a rusty helm. Okay. So the rusty helm gives me the ability block 1 turn. And the ability block 1 turn means that I can use that item to prevent myself from taking any damage at all. So that could be useful. Speaking of useful things, I'm going to go ahead and fill that up and regain 1, 2, 3 hit points. Do I want to use the other one? I do not. Okay. Okay. And of course, I don't get to search any more times. But I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with this find. So my objective here is to can't do that. Let's go ahead and write down that I searched room 6. So my objective here is to kill all the monsters. Now, I have set myself up with 3 fairly separate regions from here. So I've got this region over here, which has 2 monsters. I have this region here, which has a crap ton of monsters. And I have this region over here. Where it gets silly is that if I had the ability to get to this room, I wouldn't have to kill the monster in this room, because I only have to kill the non-boss monsters. Now, this room right here is clearly going to be a struggle. So I think it would be in my best interest to try and clear out the other rooms, see what kind of loot I have, and then come back here. Will that even work? I have 11. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Currently, I cannot win. And that is sad. But I don't know.
Gagging. So we could take money before we go out vacation and make it extras, so we didn't want in case something was.
And now he's just EP.
Now it's just easy. Okay. He's all the food. Yeah. No, he was pretty agitated.
So I need a time crystal. Which is possible inside a box, of which there are 3 here. So the only way I can get through my situation is going to the nightmare scenario. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go into room 8. Go ahead and jot that down here. 8 or B. You're nasty. So this room has a healing well. So all I need to do is search. So I can go ahead and give myself 1, 2, 3 life back. And I can go ahead and search for items. So search 1. That is 9, which is a red mushroom. So that's another healing item for later. I didn't think I'm in any need to use that just yet. So Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. Okay. Well,
He's fine.
I might as well go ahead and go. So this guy here, that's the elite. That is the ogre, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Oop. Next up, we have this little monster here. That is a 9, so that's one of the bandits. This guy here, that is a 12, which is the other bandit. Oh, I need to close this so that I can change that. Let's go ahead and make him a slightly darker purple.
You may know the risk is suddenly changed to 63. 63.
And finally, this one right here is a crab, because we can't have more than 2 bandits in a single room. So this is a column. This is a treasure chest. These are impassable. Okay. Doop. And we begin. So 17, we have a lot going on here. 17 is the ogre doing 8 points of damage to me if he can reach me. 17 is the bandits doing 4 points of damage to me if they can reach me. 17 is the crab taking 1 less point of damage. My maximum movement is 3. If I had 1 more point of movement, I'd be able to go right here and smack both of these if I could use my hammer. Which I can, technically. But that means I only have a move of 2. Okay, so the ogre has a move of 3. The bandits have a move of 3. And the crab is really not something I'm worried about just at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and use the 3 for a move, and I'm going to use the 2 for a block, keeping my big one for later. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to make it very hard for the ogre to actually reach me. Because you have to attack on the XY. So elite first. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I need to double check on the monster move. Monsters and your character can move through one another, but cannot stop on the same space. Beautiful. That is how I ruled it before, and that is how the game actually works. So, if okay, so this one goes next. 1, 2. And it... Nice try me. It attacks me for 4, but I block one of it. 1, 2, 3. And this one cannot actually get to me, so I would say he takes a flanking. I don't see any reason why he can't jump over the treasure. And the crab, meanwhile, is going to be a crab. Combat round 2. I'm going to go ahead and, before I forget, jot down that I'm in room 7. Okay. Rollers the dice. 5. So let's see what's going on this turn. 5. The crab can hit me. The bandit is going to block 2. That's extremely painful. And the ogre is going to be able to hit me from range. Now, unfortunately, I didn't roll a 3. If I had rolled a 3, I would be able to use my hammer and go after the bandit and the ogre at once. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to assign the 5 to focus, which moves this. Let's go ahead and use the official method so that I can activate my hammer. So bandit, 1, 2, 3. And I'm suddenly going to realize I really do not like the ogre being similar, even slightly color, to so many of the other creatures. So let's go ahead and turn his token into a gray token, because that's a lot easier to see. And also do 3 points of damage to him, which doesn't actually matter that much. Okay. Block all monster attacks for 1 round. I am going to do that because I am about to be in a world of pain if I do not. Because the ogre does 4 points of damage to me. Then the bandit that I hit makes me sad because I just remembered by seeing it Boy, it's a shame that I'm not smarter. And then the crab shuffles over. I'm important, he cries, unimportantly. Okay. 19's all around. 19 is a lot of damage from the ogre. 19 is some damage from the bandit, and a 19 is the crab is blocking. So if everyone hits, I would be taking 16 points of damage, which is way more than I even started with. But as long as he's alive, the ogre isn't going to be able to get me. This puts me in a very uncomfortable position of wanting someone to live. I could move, but then the ogre who goes first will be able to get around this guy. The optimal situation is I use my hammer to hit either side of the column. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the hammer, and we're going to go ahead and use a point of block. So, once again, the bandit is attacking, not blocking. So when I do 3 points of damage to this one, it can stay. 1, 2, 3. And the ogre also takes 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now the ogre tries to move, but it can't. I mean, it could go around 1, 2, 3, but it's closer here. So this bandit up here is going to do 4 points of damage to me. I'm blocking 1. 1, 2, 3. This one moves into position, and it does 3 damage to me as well. 1, 2, 3. Which leads us to the important question of when can I use a food? I have made a poor decision because I was supposed to only buy 1 item of a specific type from the shop in the beginning. I believe the intent is that I am able to use a healing potion at any time. Which I, for goodness sake, am going to do. It leaves me defenseless, but let's go ahead and use the healing potion of Cheat Ostitude anyway. I was told last week that it's okay because there's a lot for me to comprehend. Okay, 20's all around. 20 means the ogre doesn't do anything. The two bandits both are attacking. The crab is blocking, which means the crab isn't going to do anything. So if it weren't for the fact that I am surrounded and can't use my hammer, I'd be okay. I'm going to go ahead and assign the 6 to a single attack and the 1 to a block. It was a 1. And you can be plastic now. And you can be orange. Okay, I am going to go ahead and use the if there's a bandit here, I can't be hurt theory from before. And do my 3 points of damage to the second bandit. Which, just for record-keeping purposes, gives me 2 more essence. So the bandit is able to do 3 points of damage to me because I blocked the extra, and the ogre does nothing, and the crab does nothing. The crab is not sure why the crab is here. Very pretty. Okay, new round of combat. 2 6s. That is fantastic for me. Because I have it all powered up, I get to use my ground punch. Okay. That is an 11. The bandit will do a point of damage. The crab will continue just standing there. The ogre will do damage. But first, everyone in the room takes 4 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. He did. And I get 2 more essence. 1, 2, 3, 4. He unfortunately is still mostly alive. And the crab, 1, 2, 3, 4. The crab is neither unfortunately or not fortunate, whatever. You know what I mean. Crab live. Okay. How much health do I have? I'm at 5. The ogre is going to be doing 6 points of damage. I have no healing potion. I have no ability to block. I don't have the ability to easily turn him into something else. Let's see. Components, RPG kit, villains. There's an ogre. I mean, that is absolutely how it felt. Yeah, that's perfect. So as you can see, my little guy is, come back, very, very dead. The ogre, despite my attempt there, is not. So, what have we learned? What we have learned is that this game is no pushover. Slightly more important, what have we learned, is that when you are in the map making phase, really, really think about how you're going to be traversing. Map maker me really made a mistake by not having this room connected to this room. In a perfect situation, it would have been start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I would have had the opportunity to win. But instead, I broke things up poorly, and my guy paid for it by having an ogre dropped literally on his head. The ogre is still not dead. So, with tragic defeat behind me, that makes it a good time for me to say goodnight. Because I've got a doggo that I took to the hospital to figure out why he was making bad coughing sounds, and he's just trying to eat. He eating and trying to eat, and I'm not respecting the eatiness. Next week, my last day before my vacation, and I am promising myself that I am going to find a journaling game. So that is my plan for next week. But before I do that, very important, I'm going to do this full screen, yes. If you're going to use Tabletop Simulator, there's one very important thing you must remember, win or lose. My favorite part was when the letters fell off the board, despite the fact that I had been completely incapable of moving them before. So, that's funny. And with that, I, as always, like to end with, remember to be one of the good ones, because there's way too many of the bad. And I will see you next week. Good night.